professional free version, educational version, and what? And the free version, paid version, and an educational version. I will tell you that I probably shouldn't have done that, because the idea of that there was to skip the file system check, because it's a new partition and a new file inside of the virtual machine. This is Oracle Virtual Machine. Now this installation can take up to 25 minutes. If you want to go away and get a cup of coffee, get a snack or something, by all means do that and come back in like 20 minutes and check and see where we're at. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. Just trying to do something. Normally we get a nice screen. What's going to happen? We should get a desktop with a pop-up menu. Here's the desktop pop-up menu here in 1 second, with the option to click install. Now as you'll see, I only make 2 changes to the installation. This is your standard Calamari installation utility. If you're looking to customize your installation, this is not the distribution for you. Of course, I shouldn't say distribution, because it's essentially what? It's Ubuntu. They install a few less apps in Ubuntu. There's no options of what you want to install. Okay, so here we are. And we should get we're going to do install. Standard Calamari install, except for 2 things we've seen in a moment here. In a moment we're going to unclick. So this is all standard. This is what I'm going to tell you. I do not want to install updates at this point. I don't need any third-party software. I will mention that this is an Oracle Virtual Machine. It gave it 50 gigabytes of space, 16 gigabytes of memory, 4 processors, and also 64 megabytes of display memory. Like I say, this is going to take about 20 to 25 minutes to finish, not including running I'm not going to run the update here during the live stream, because it's like under 15 minutes worth of it. It's just an app update, upgrade. That's all it is. Maybe there's quite a few packages. I think it's over 100 packages to be upgraded. So again, if you want to go ahead and take a break, come back in 20 minutes, check on things, you certainly can. I'm going to sit there and read a book while I'm waiting for this thing to run. Okay, install. Warning, yes, we're going to erase the disk. Install now. I'll mention everything I didn't do. I didn't bother to check the partition, because it's a new partition. right? That's a new virtual disk, so I don't bother. There's no point in checking for errors. Okay, if you continue, this changes will written to your disk. Partition 2, partition 3 as ESP. Interesting. Continue. So I'm just going to stick, yes, I am in the Eastern time zone. My name, I'm going to call my name Zorin. How's that? Password, as DT would say, a strong and complicated password. I will mention that this probably will not become my daily driver, as you say. I'm mainly doing this for you guys' benefit. I can't think of a reason why you would use this as opposed to, say, what's it called, MX Linux. By the way, I'll be doing an install of MX Linux tomorrow night. That one, by the way, is, oh hey, what is the OS used for? This is a version. This is a Linux version. So it's whatever you use Linux for, games development. It's called Zorin OS. It's basically, if you're familiar with Ubuntu Linux, it's basically a version of Ubuntu. Okay, it's supposedly in part it's designed for like schools and educational usage. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing really unique about it, in my opinion. There are 3 different versions, by the way. Saying, hey, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate your time, by the way. There's a free version with this is here. It's called Core, Zorin OS Core. That's this one here. This is supposed to be released within the 18 months, released in like the last week or 2. So it's supposedly it's new, but it's not as new as you might think. So they have the core version, which is free. They have the professional version, which is like $50, I guess. Then there's the free educational version. This is just the free version. Okay, this is the core, the free version. It's going to take maybe 20 minutes to install. Okay, so it's not the fastest to install. Okay, so what part of the world are you in, my friend? Well, I don't do games, so it's kind of hard to say. I would just go to YouTube and look for Linux, search for something like Linux gaming. Remember, when you're talking about Linux, India. Okay, very good. So what time is it in India right now? So the distributions that have to do with first of all, Linux is Linux. Okay, of course, what's the first thing? Well, actually, Linux is the kernel, and it consists of GNU utilities and desktop managers and stuff like that. So that's your standard thing. There are distributions that target gaming. You probably have more advanced, like video drivers and stuff like that. 3:30 a.m. Are you going to bed, or are you getting ready? Are you just getting up? Yeah, so go to, here's 2 things you can do. Go to your favorite AI and say, hey, what Linux distributions are available for gaming? Use AI to see what it says. Then also go to YouTube and search for like Linux gaming or something like that. There'll be plenty of videos out there to tell you what Linux distributions are for gaming, okay? But up to a certain point, all Linux distributions. Going to bed, did you just get off? What time are you a student, or do you actually work for a living? Or are you both? And by the way, again, thanks for staying up a little later and joining me. I appreciate it. I also appreciate your questions, by the way. Be sure to click that subscribe button for me and the like button while you're at it. And share the channel with one friend, okay? Yeah, like I said, Zorin takes like 20-25 minutes to install. Uh, I'm gonna do an install of MX Linux tomorrow night. That's like a 15-minute install. But again, it's really targeting. I would say Zorin and this is. Oh, do I celebrate? Oh, thank you so much, and a happy Diwali to you also, my friend. So, what were you out partying all night, and you just got home? But of course, most Linux distributions are free, and so you can try most out for free. There's an interesting. That was friends. All right, there you go. So it's a holiday just in family. So it's a holiday just a 1 day celebration. Oh, the third day. So does it last for? How many more days are there? So we're about halfway through copying files. Well, I'll give it some thought. I have not been to that part of the world. I've been to Spain a couple times. Oh, so basically it lasts entire 5 days. Wow, a whole week. Very nice. Very nice indeed. So are you a student or do you actually work for a living? What is the Indian holiday it's currently being celebrated?
Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights, is currently being celebrated. It symbolizes the victory of light over darkness and good over evil. Hindus, Jains, Sikhs, and some Buddhists celebrate Diwali with lighting lamps, prayers, shared meals, and celebrations.
So Diwali is the celebration of lights, so according to AI. Okay, so you're a productive member of society. What type of development do you do? Full stack web. All right. So do you do any Python development as part of your web development? So we're about 3/4 the way to copying the file. So we haven't actually installed anything yet, I don't believe. this is kind of like Windows. You used to install Windows and it'll copy a bunch of stuff. No, Java. Okay, very nice. Java's some pretty serious stuff. Angular, okay. How long have you been doing development? Oh, I was going to mention another channel, 4 years. Okay, that's all right. Let's see. So here's a site called DistroWatch, and what it does, it's sort of like a listing of all the different Linux distributions out there and all their children and stuff like that. So you may find information on gaming on Linux on that site also. Okay. So what about your educational background? Do you have a degree in software engineering or something like that? Okay, software engineering, very good, very good. So are you using any AI on your job? Any AI? One note about distributions like Zorin or MX, because they're designed to be really stable, they may not use the latest, greatest software. Me? I live in the U.S. state of Ohio, near the capital city of Columbus, U.S. state of Ohio. Yep. And it's currently about 6:09 p.m. here. Sometimes you use AI. I use AI all the time to write code anymore, write Python code and stuff like that. It's like I can take 15 minutes to figure out how to fix a problem, or I can use AI and find the answer in 5 minutes. So I know. But I'm retired. I'm 70 years old. I'm retired. I do data analytics and computers for fun. Okay. I started live streaming again on YouTube last week, and I got a fair bit. Like, you're here, so that means my mid-afternoon live. Yeah, I started out interested in, well, I probably started databases. Then I started to learn R programming for data analytics. What got my first start was back in COVID. I started doing analysis of COVID data. Okay. For different countries and stuff like that, doing like data visualizations, and I've used SQL on and off for like the last 20 years or so, not with any regularity. Installing system, we're getting close here. Yeah, so as hard as it may be to believe, I actually do this stuff for fun. Well, be sure to check out my stock analysis videos also. Okay, they're all shorts. They're all like 3-minute shorts. Very quick watch. So actually done this for a living. Okay, before this, at one point, back during the late 90s and early 2000s, during the original .com boom, I worked for countries like Sun Microsystems or Level 3 out in Colorado. Then that all crashed down on September 11th. Yeah, the R has some really good stock analysis programs. The newest one is called TinyQuant, and there's an old one called QuantMod. You can do all your basic and advanced type of plotting. You know, stock plotting, stock plots. You know, Bollinger Bands and RSIs and what else is there? Moving averages and candlestick plots and bar plots. You know, with TinyQuant, you can do all those things. Okay, along with, of course, along with the help of your favorite AI to write the R code for you. But the basics are very easy to use if you're interested in the stock market at all. I actually do some very simple forecasting. I mean, I don't try to predict closing prices, daily price. I just try to guess, you know, what the stock, you know, is the stock going to close higher or lower over the next 30 days, for instance, something like that. So the plots aren't really that expensive. The plots aren't really that detailed down to the daily closing price level, but it's fun nonetheless. I like playing with the data. Retrieving file. Well, that's a good question. Can you do it in Java? You know, I don't think Java is really a data science language. It's really more of a general purpose language. You can certainly do it with Python. I do it with R and TinyQuant, but your basic stock retrieval program for Python is called yfinance. But there's also a couple other ones that's used to do more advanced plotting and stuff like that. Okay, or you can just ask, hey, write me a Python program to, you know, you can ask AI, hey, write me a Python program to use yfinance to create a Bollinger Band plot or an RSI plot, and your favorite AI will write the code for you. Okay, so that's what I would do. I mean, I would use yfinance and say, hey, AI, write me a Python program to create a Bollinger Band plot. Okay. Retrieving file 165, 165. Basic data analytics with Python's pretty easy. You got NumPy, you got pandas, you got polars now. You got Seaborn and Matplotlib for plotting, and you can yfinance to retrieve the data. You can actually do some very simple work with nothing more than just basic knowledge of Python. And for the more advanced stuff, use AI. Okay. Yeah, but beyond the basic stuff is out of my range. Okay, quantitative analysis or stock quant. That's a whole different level of programming. Okay. No, I'm more of a long-term investor. Okay, I got a Vanguard fund. I got 2 Vanguard funds, and that's about it. Okay, a little bit of money in those. So I don't do day trading. I only do weekly trading or monthly trading. I just leave the stuff in the funds, and I trust Vanguard to take care of the details for me. And it's certainly not a living. And we're getting close here. Maybe we're getting close to actually finishing up this install. Like I mentioned again, that this install for Zorin takes about 25 minutes, it seems like, around there. Be sure to come back tomorrow for my MX Linux install. That one's like 15 to 20 minutes. It's a very fast install. So anyway, I'm retired. I'm retired. I get what's called Social Security and a little money from my stock fund. But yeah, my main income is Social Security because I'm 70 years old. Configuring hardware. Yes, basically, Social Security is it's not free. I mean, I paid into it for like 30 years, but yeah, it's you pay into it out of your taxes, Social Security tax, and then and when you get to be 65 or 62 and a half, you can start taking money out. But most of my jobs were not really high-paying jobs, so my pension fund, my Social Security isn't a lot, but it's enough. Combined with a little income from my stocks, it's enough to get me by each month. Okay. How's my life? My life's okay. Uh, my dad left me some money. He left me a small condo. It's paid for, so so my expenses aren't extremely high each month. Running grub install. Yeah, I lead a pretty quiet life, a pretty modest life. I don't take vacations every year and stuff like that. I don't get a new car every year, so my lifestyle's pretty modest. I just sit around and play on computers all day and read. Sit around and install the same operating system 3 or 4 times to understand what it's doing. Checking for package removal. We're getting close here. Now I'll mention if you ever use what's called Ubuntu Linux. No, I'm single. I've never been married. I have no kids that I know of, and I'm single. Which is part of the reason I can live on my income. I do have 2 brothers, one older, one younger brother, who have families. Just removing a bunch of stuff. We're cooking with gas now. Interesting. Why is it removing LibreOffice stuff? Okay, I think we're getting close to the end here. You know what? It's like the short answer is no. I'm not in the job market. Uh, they're never going to completely replace people. AI at this point can't think. You still have to tell it what to do. Okay, you still have to give it a description of what you want to do for it. Uh, I mean, AI is great till it gets something wrong, and then you're kind of stuck because it doesn't know what the correct answer is. It's called hallucinations. You ask it to do something, and the code doesn't work, so you give it the code, you give it the error message, or make some different code. You run a new code, you get another error message, you give it that code, error message, right? And you kind of sometimes you can wind up going around in circles trying to fix an error in AI. Now I have a friend who's like head over heels with AI. I mean, he's using it to to create a business with and all this stuff. I just use it to help me write code. Okay, uh, but it's not going away. You hear talk of like AI bubble. Yeah, there's a bubble, but it's not going away. After the .com bubble burst, it didn't go away. What happens is you just get rid of the stragglers. When the bubble bursts, you just get rid of the stragglers, and the best companies survive. That's basically what it boils down to. So you certainly want to use how to use AI and how to write good prompts. Okay, watch some videos on prompt engineering and learn how to learn all you can about AI and how to work with it within your field. Okay. Running D package. But here's the other thing about technology. Changes in technology almost always cost jobs. It doesn't make it what they are. All changes in technology, whether it's the wheel or the computer, they all bring about changes in the job market. You're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm planning on doing these type of streams between 4 and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Okay, so I'll see what I can do about that, my friend. So anyway, thanks so much for your time. I enjoyed speaking with you today. Hopefully I gave you some advice. Of course, my advice comes without any guarantee. Now go and get some sleep. So we've been at this about 35 minutes, is about what I expected. Yeah, click the bell icon to know if I want to go live. And thanks again for your time, friend. Appreciate it. Installing system. So we'll finish this install, and then just for the fun of it, we will install Emacs. What better way to finish a wrap up an install than Emacs, okay? Of course, again, be sure to check out tomorrow's session, because I'm not sure. I'm probably going to do MX Linux install, okay? So if there's anyone else out there, speak now or forever hold your peace. Because when the installation finishes, we're going to install Emacs, then we're going to bring this session to close. Unless someone else is out there want to stop by the chat session and continue on. Okay, we start now. You start. No, I'm going to use the command line function. I'm going to use the apt install command to install the package, rather than trying to get it. Rather, they have a nice GUI install package, but I'm going to use. To me, so it's much easier to just to use the the command line function in the terminal. Okay, which should be just the apt program. So, hey, don't even mess around. Let's go directly, Zorin, yes indeed. As DT would say, my strong and complicated password. Now this is, to me, why is this so slow to load the desktop, okay? You see, it's like, is it actually working? No thanks, no tour. Right click, we should have over here. Zorin. I'm going to do a quick terminal. Now we should do an update, but we're not. Okay, so we're going to run a now. What we should do an apt update and an apt upgrade, but I'm not going to do that today because we've been running along. So we're going to do a sudo TIS. Yeah. Let's install this. Now notice all the Ubuntu stuff going by. That tells us that this is actually an Ubuntu-based distribution. Now, of course, I disagree with the use of the word distribution, okay, because it's not a new distribution. It's not even really a new desktop, okay? Be honest about it. It just isn't. Okay, I'm in a kind of a frisky mood, so I'll give you one more install. We're going to try to install, please. I don't know. Okay, internet site, local only, no configuration. Interesting. So you could actually configure Emacs to use the. So what we'll do, we'll Mina. Bending GNOME into KDE. Hey, thanks for stopping by, my friend. You just missed Singh, from India, who is celebrating the holiday over there for this week. Anyway, so where in the heck are you? What you're looking at here? You're looking at my freshly installed Zorin 18 core distribution desktop. Okay, I hesitate to use the word desktop because Linux really isn't a desktop operating system, but that's a rant for a different cave. So anyway, bending GNOME into KDE. Well, I think if we do a PS, we'll see some GNOME functions running in the background there. Okay. Zorin's kind of odd. They have 3 different versions. They have, well, of course, my plan, by the way, Mina, is to basically live stream between 4 and 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Maybe on Saturday if I feel up to, mainly Monday through Friday. So be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified when I go live, all right? So let's just take a look at something here. Yeah, right there, see it says GNOME shell. I'm going to make a stab and say this is probably some flavor of GNOME, alright? Let's install one more thing. Let's install, are you familiar with what's called the UV package manager? Yeah, pretty much. I think, I'm not sure. It sort of looks like a cross between Mac OS's taskbar and Windows. You know what I mean? Are you a Python person by chance? Oh, UV. Sudo apt install. I can, it helps if you can spell the command correctly. Oh, this means we're going to have to do something tricky here. Interesting enough, the default browser on Zorin is Brave, which is designed for security. Okay, it's designed for security. So we'll give you a little bonus coverage here. NeoFetch or FastFetch. Do we have NeoFetch? No NeoFetch. Let's see if we can install that. Why not? Let's minimize this for a second. Since you brought up NeoFetch, is here, good. I am running this on an Oracle virtual machine, okay. 16 gigabytes of RAM, 4 processors, about 50 gigabytes of storage space, okay. Again, this is Zorin 18 Core, which is the free version of Zorin, which of course is basically their personal version of Ubuntu. By the way, thanks so much for stopping by me, and I really do appreciate your time. So, okay. So it's Zorin, VirtualBox 1.2, generic kernel, uptime 7 minutes, packages, bash, resolution. Oh, so it is no desktop environment. There it is, GNOME. VM is Mutter. Theme, terminal, GNOME terminal, Intel 15, CPU Intel i5. That's right. 1.49. Yeah, this computer is probably, I think it's like 5 or 6 years old. This is not a new computer. I think I got like 5 years ago, and eventually over time I upgraded the memory and upgraded the storage space. So anyway, so you can see theme, CPU, GPU, okay, VMware STB adapter, memory. So it's a total of 17 gigabytes of memory. Okay. So most of it's still free. So what can we do here? Oh, we are going to come over here and UV. Are you familiar with UV package manager for Python? It performs similar things to like the VENV module in Python. It's also similar to I guess Poetry. It's similar to you may be familiar with Anaconda or Miniconda. Well, this is actually nicer. This uses a lot less space, okay, than yes, that's correct. I think this, and this is their latest edition. This was just released a couple of years ago, and I think what they do is, they go with the stable Ubuntu, and then they just add patches to it to keep it up to date. Okay, they don't actually add. You don't actually update package because I use R quite a bit, okay, and they're running and their version of R is like 15 months out of date. But I think what to do, I think they actually patch it out. All right. So anyway, so we can say UV or UV, right? So are you a Python programmer by chance? Look at this. Zorin pictures, I don't know. Let's put this in documents, okay? We're going to do UV ITPY stocks, okay? PY. The advantage of UV is it's like blazingly fast. When you see I'm going to install a few packages. When you see how fast it runs, you can be holy crap. Pandas. Seaborn, Jupiter. Hey, I'm in a good mood. Let's install Jupiter also. Okay, so that's just now. Watch how fast UV installs these packages. Okay. And we saw, obviously, Jupyter is a pretty big install. So you can look how fast these things are going by here. We've got 14 packages out of 112 installed. Yeah, but I think what they do, I think they get it to a stable level, and then they just keep it there so they don't have to worry about breaking any packages people do updates on. But of course, they're using an older version of, I think they're using like 20.04 Ubuntu, okay, which of course probably isn't being supported. The current version is 24, I think, Okay. Yeah, it really is fast. And, it takes up a lot less space than an Anaconda. Everybody says it's better than say poetry. It's better than the built-in module. Although I personally think I may actually use the VENV module in the background there. For sure. So we got SciPy installed, Pandas installed. Everything's done. It's all installed. Okay. Well, let's try one more. Let's see if we can get Y Finance installed for our. I will also mention, come back tomorrow, I'm going to be installing another Linux distribution called MX Linux, and that's a really small install. That install takes like 15 minutes from boot up to log on. 15 minutes to install. And again, it's a little older, and MX Linux, I believe, is based on Debian. This is Ubuntu, but they're both running slightly. Let's install. Okay. Let's install. Let's install one more package just to make my point. R dash. The current version of R, I believe, is 4.5. Let's take a look here on my desktop, shall we? Hope you notice that said G Fortran there. R and certain Python libraries are basically wrappers for the Fortran programming language. So it's kind of funny. I think like Pandas and NumPy and Python are basically wrappers for the Python for the Fortran programming language, the original scientific programming language. Okay, console. So the current version is 4.5.1. Okay, 4.5.1. By the way, I also do some stock analysis videos also. Nothing serious, heavy. Just little fun stuff with R and Tiny Caught. So be sure to check out those shorts. All my stock videos are 3-minute shorts. You can check them out on my shorts feed. Okay. Of course, as always, I'd appreciate a subscription, a thumbs up, and a like, and also maybe share it with your friend. Share the channel with your friends. So now we're running R, reloading R. Again, we're just using a straight APT. Now Zorin also has a nice fancy install package, GUI install program, but I prefer to just do things from the command line because it's a lot faster. So again, what it says, let's see. So again, the current version is 4.5.1. This is 4.3.3 from February of 2024. So it's over a year old. And to me, that's not good. I mean, As long as you're within the 4 version, you should be able to upgrade without any problems, okay? Sometimes you upgrade and you have to go back and re-download the packages or rebuild the package. But that shouldn't be an advantage. And of course the thing is, because they're pulling from an older Ubuntu tree, hey, there's not an easy way to actually install the ones, okay? No. So let's close this real quick. Let's come back over here. Programming. Emacs, baby! And there you have it. There you have Emacs. Okay, with that, my Mina, I'm going to bring this session to a close. Been out for like 45 minutes. Hey, I'll be back sometime tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. Click the bell icon. Be notified whenever I go live. And as always, thanks so much for your time, Mina. Hope to see you back here tomorrow.